So, episode number 15, we are going to talk about the bottom. Is the bottom in on cryptocurrency? Got myself, Ash, we've got Gaz, and we've got Ellis, also known as Bitcoin Biker UK. Make sure you give him a follow on Twitter. If you've not yet done so, check out our website, learningcrypto.co.uk, and get on board with our premium and our courses for further education. Without further ado, though, I'm going to ask a very, very clear and obvious question to Gaz. So, Gaz, do you reckon the bottom is in with crypto or not?
Oh, straight in with that question, is it?
Crikey.
Oh, do I think the bottom's in? Gun to my head, I'd say no.
Ooh.
I don't. I feel as though this is a bit of a bear market rally. I think we'll at least come back down to like 18, 19s if we don't make a new low. I think we at least come down to there. I think this has happened a bit prematurely in terms of, one, the macro situation, but two, also when you think that we've got the halving isn't until another 18 months, give or take. Was it next May? So
March is
March.
About a year now.
Just over a year. So I think this is a little bit premature. I think it's dragging a lot of people who are sidelined back into a bit of a bear market rally, and I think we go back lower. I could just imagine BTC, because the whole like 12, 13K thing, people who were sidelined waiting for that, they're now going to be jumping in, and then it would be typical Bitcoin for it to then go and hit 12, 13K as like a bit of a max pain thing. But I could well be wrong, and time will tell.
What about you, Ellis? What do you think?
It's a bit of a different one for me. Like, obviously, you two have experienced it before, whereas I've only ever really read about the bottom when you see it in mainstream media. So this will be my first real cycle. Everything that I've studied and the people that I tend to follow and, listen to, they've had more leanings to, like TED Talks Macro, for example. He's put up some really, really good data about how historically the bottoms always tended to be in around 470 days before the next halving, and when there's been a 85% correction, I think.
Yeah, I've talked about that in the past as well.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we've had it's around 470 days, give or take, until the next halving roughly date. But we've only had, 75% correction on BTC?
76, 77, I think, was the max. But you're right in a way, because the numbers do add up. And it was quite a nice number as well. Like, we're not that far away from the 84, the 82 levels, which would have took us to 12K. But I thought 12K was going to happen. But I also think something fundamentally has to break for that to happen now, personally.
I'm pretty on the fence.
Yeah.
Like, I feel quite defensive about it. Like, I'm happy to see everything going up after 14 months of down. But my rationale is, it took people how long to admit we were in a bear market? Was that May for some certain people on crypto Twitter? And then all of a sudden, they've now flipped bullish, like majorly so. I can't, it just doesn't sit right.
I think the other thing that sort of feeds into the narrative that the bottom may not be in is this is only the second real bear market rally we've seen. Is it? We saw one, March, April time last year.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't surprise me if this was the second one and the one that really suckers people in, thinking that they've missed the bottom, because we obviously took off very fast from the bottom, caught a lot of people out, and I think that's going to lead to a lot of panic, and basically the market's going to leave people holding bags at like a bit of a local top. And then, so probably come onto it in a little bit later, but we normally have a bottoming process which leads to like a long ranging market, like 6 to 9 months of just pure boredom that shakes people out, not just because of price, but the boredom. And so I think that's yet to come. And so wouldn't it just be like, I don't like to keep using the phrase max pain, but if we come up, trap loads of people in and around here, whether we go to 25 or 30K, wherever it may be, drop back down to either the existing lows or break new ones, and then just range for 6 months. I think that'd be pretty painful for a lot of people, and that would shake a lot of people out.
I think that's a possibility, but I also think we're not going to go lower than 15k. I think if we're going to do it, we'll probably go towards that 19, 18k level and just sit around 20k levels to 17. They were pretty strong levels for a while. They didn't break. That could be a range for 3 to 4 months without a sweat for Bitcoin and the rest of the market.
I think alts will die. I think, and to be honest with that, I can see Bitcoin going down. Alts, however,
dominance will just go woof, up.
Which isn't a bad thing if you set up properly. Like,
I'm quite happy with me, but we'll see.
You sound like that guy from Saw. There will be blood.
I don't know when I became so bearish and negative. I love it though. It's a lot more fun than being bullish.
That's the thing though. Like Gaz said, how long in terms of it took for people to flip bullish. Like a lot of people were not buying when I was buying. I was like October, November, December I was buying. And the reason why I'm pretty much in the market now is because if we do range, I'm going to be staking it. I'm just going to be making free units, and I'd rather be exposed to that than not. Even if I do miss some better prices, but reality is I've got cash. I can just put it in. It doesn't matter. It's not like I'm going to miss out. If we do go below 15k, which I do think if that does happen, something's broken. Something fundamentally has gone wrong. We've already had in the last episode of the podcast, we talked about the 12 bankruptcies and FTX going kaput, right? Realistically, how much more pain do we need? And obviously for us, we've been in stables. It's been a lot easier. But for some people, they've been holding the top like idiots. No offense to anyone, but that's max pain. If we are going to have max pain and we do rocket up to 30k and someone's put the long leverage on idiot funds active again and they blow up, it may well go back down. It's just, we'll see. You can't really predict it. But it goes for saying about previous cycles. Who thought COVID was going to recover as quick as that in terms of the price action? That was ridiculous. I've never had anything. That was a proper black swan, like the blackest of black. It was like ridiculous. Like it was. And like I missed out so much on that. Like I was thinking, hold on a minute, this is a bit odd. And then it just kept going up. And I was like, where is this again? Oh, fuck. It's nightmare. It's ridiculous when you think about it. But every cycle is different.
If we, because obviously we're on a podcast and we haven't got access to a chart to show people, but I'll keep the technicals quite limited. In terms of other reasons why I think this is going to be a bear market rally, we're at least going to go back down to sort of 18, 19s, is the stock RSI on the weekly time frame is super high and is due a retrace. And also, if you look at the VIX, the best buying opportunities are when the VIX is in that 30 to 35 region, and it's currently down in the teens. So
we're nowhere near that.
That's what makes me think like this isn't the best potential opportunity. We're at least going to get a pullback, and we'll obviously just have to see how far that goes.
Yeah, I'm on that same.
We're still coupled with the S&P as well for now, and that's at some pretty heavy resistance.
I'm on the same really guidelines as that. The way I see it, I think like a lot of people are going to get caught out, but a lot of people will jump in with fresh capital. It's all about risk management and capital preservation. Now, I put all my profit in the market at, I think, low levels. And as I said before, happy to sit on them. No qualms. And I will put money in if we go lower. But I'll only trigger that if we go below 18k, pretty much. Like realistically, that's where I'll go for it. Because there's no real point. My dollar cost average on everything is still relatively low. And that's where I'll be thinking, you know what? Opportunity. And every single unit I'm getting around this area, if it is a 6-month drawdown and it's boring, it will shake people out. And it's a free base unit. Even if you do, a couple, it's not that bad realistically, but it's just the reality of it. Like everyone will jump in. If we go above 25k, Twitter's going to explode.
Yeah.
That being said, there was quite a few, I think it was 300-400 million of inflows of fresh stables the other day, over the weekend.
Yeah. That was the first time we've seen it as well. That made me a little bit bullish, thinking, we might go a bit more here and it might be a bit more out of this fruit. But
I can tell you one thing that's not being used for. Yield.
No, definitely not. I won't explain that one.
My final sort of comment on quote unquote the bottom. If we'd arranged for, like I said before, if we'd arranged for sort of like 6 months before this move, I'd have been like, yeah, that's it, that's definitely it. But we just haven't had that boredom phase yet, and I think there's too much time to go before the halving, and then the next, whenever the bull cycle kicks in. I think there's just a bit too much time. But going back to what Ash said, it is all about your own personal circumstances. Like, Ash is perfectly happy putting his profits back in now at what is realistically low levels for where we may go in the future. And he's obviously been buying in the last few months, so yeah, he's more than happy. But if you're sort of thinking, oh, if I missed the bottom, do I need to FOMO in now? I don't think so. I think there's nothing wrong with putting some in. As I say, realistically, we're still very low levels where we may go in the future. But yeah, I wouldn't be going all in here. I don't think maybe you've missed the absolute bottom, but you'll still get better opportunities, I believe.
I mean, we've still got the whole thing with FTX to come out fully as well. We still don't know the ins and outs of that.
Yeah,
that was about 3 months ago to the day since the collapse, and we haven't really seen extended pain from that.
Sorry, there's one last thing I've just remembered as well is I believe, I'm not 100%, I'm about 90% sure on this, but what I heard from podcasts and YouTube videos that I've listened to is that historically, when the Fed pivots, the market doesn't actually bottom for another 2 months after that. And obviously the Fed hasn't pivoted yet, so...
Good point. Another thing, though, like we could talk about, if you remember, Gaz will probably remember this, 2019, a lot of Ponzi schemes were running the market in the bear market, and Bitcoin went to the moon. The altcoins died, literally. Nothing happened, and the dominance went right the way up. We could have a scenario here where Bitcoin could be looked at a risk on asset like gold, and the altcoins get suffocated a little bit. Like, maybe the good ones will survive, maybe Ethereum and stuff like that will be probably okay, but a lot of the shitcoins will absolutely suffocate. And we will come on to shitcoins later on, but we will also come on to like potential bottom strategies as well, what we can look at. But the way I see it, if that does happen and dominance does go up, it's an opportunity for people to understand dominance and how to use Bitcoin for altcoins for the future. But it could leave a lot of newbies out, because I think a lot of people don't even look at Bitcoin nowadays. Like, they're not really taught it. Obviously, we teach a lot about it, but I don't know where they're getting their education from. But they're literally like, I'm not really that interested about Bitcoin.
TikTok.
What? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think you're bang on, Ellis, to be fair. I think
it's mad. It's like, oh, look at these multiple gains. Oh, look at how fast this blockchain is. Look at how fast this is. And like, it's a fucking ERC20 token, mate. It's bollocks.
Investment advice in 30-second snippets here and there. Do you know?
Yeah.
It's essentially nothing but clickbait.
I don't want to go down the algorithm path of just going through the stock market TikTok, because I'll end up like wanting to jump off something. But
it's not going to
be good. Oh, I can imagine. Ugh. It's bad enough looking at air fryer recipes, man.
How many TikTok videos do you reckon there are in circulation right now talking about Golden Cross?
Oh,
I've seen at least 3 today.
Have you? Really?
Yeah.
I knew it. Oh, brilliant.
It's always that, or XRP to $10,000.
Of course. Well,
and they say it with such conviction, and the people in the comments, and I just think, oh my God, like, this is why we can't have nice things. So, isn't it? Like, come on, like, oh.
It's good until it's not. Yeah, nearly every day, literally in crypto. It's ridiculous.
Jim Cramer's the reason we can't have nice things.
Oh, yeah, absolute. Yeah, he's literally the reversal candle every single time. But like, the way I see it, like, if we are going to become a risk on asset with a little bit of a sliver of money going into the market, wow, it'd be huge. But
do you mean
I still find, risk on in terms of like for people to buy into gold sort of situations and maybe a tickle of crypto. But it depends how much to trust it, and I don't know if they do. We'll see. But there's some big names in crypto, but they're just not really very vocal, I don't think, these days, for obvious reasons.
I can definitely see
that these days after the whole, look, Tom Brady is going to forever be associated now with.
Yeah, Matt Damon.
Oh, that was embarrassing, wasn't it? That advert was bad at the time, let alone when you look at it in the bigger picture after.
You got Paris Hilton with NFTs. You had Jimmy Fallon, or whatever you call them. There was loads of them.
Michael Owen.
There was
Michael Owen.
Yeah. He had like a horse racing NFT thing, and it absolutely tanked.
Jesus.
There's Snoop Dogg. He had a load of NFT. Oh man, you
Ash,
can go down the rabbit hole. Yeah.
Ash, you'll remember this.
Go
So
on.
this reminds me of back in 2017 when I think it was Sam Allardyce came out promoting Electronium. It was someone like that.
Was that just before he got done in that scandal?
Probably done it with the
Selling
same
tickets.
players.
I'm pretty sure it's Sam Allardyce or one of those managers of that ilk where you just sort of like, what? You like Electronium, dear? No, sorry, it was Harry Redknapp. Harry Redknapp.
Oh my god!
He come out and was like, yeah, Electronium, it's the one. It's like, what do you? What? Who are you?
How do you even get Harry Redknapp?
I love the old marketing gimmicks. What back in the day was like, if you miss Bitcoin, you can't miss this ICO. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake!
And do you know
cringe.
what's really funny? How history repeats, because then in the cycle we've just been through, it was all about the next ETH killer.
Yeah, and
And
then
nothing killed it.
Solana killers next and stuff. That'd be ridiculous when you think about it.
It'd be interesting to see what the next big theme is going into the next cycle.
I think we've already got one of them, and I think it's AI. AI is really like ridiculous.
Yeah.
At the minute, it's like what? But I've not seen an AI product with crypto yet. Nothing other than a white paper.
Do you know what would really screw people over this cycle? And it's highly unlikely, but just imagine if kind of what you said earlier, Ash, is what happens, where the next cycle is literally just like a quote unquote quality cycle, where it's just BTC and a few select alts that rally and everything else just does nothing.
If it's Polkadot rallying, if it's Bitcoin near protocol and a few ecosystems, I'm fucking happy.
Just the top 20. Just the top
I think
20.
layer 2s have got still stand a really good chance of outperforming most things in the next cycle.
I do as well. I think layer 2 is going to do well. I think multi-chain as well, interoperability.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that can happen, but at the same time, everyone's attracted. At this stage of the bottom, everyone's like, oh, look at this. This is like down 100 million %, because it's crap. But they're looking at those coins because they're pumping because of liquidity gaps. And we'll talk about the strategy in a minute of like buying bottoms, which is relatively straightforward. But people are always shiny object syndrome. Oh, look at this. It's pumped 100%. I'm going to buy it. Yeah. What? What's wrong with you? Yeah, but and then they're like,
see the rest of it.
Yeah, you zoom out and see the rest of it, but they also think, well, my coin hasn't pumped yet. It's shit. I must sell it because that one's pumped. As soon as that one then goes, and you buy it, you weigh it down, and the other one just goes vroom. It's like a seesaw. It's great.
Rotators are the worst thing.
Yeah,
the fastest way to lose money.
Really is. But let's talk about strategies for the bottom, because it's an easy one and everyone's going to be really disappointed when we say it. So I'm going to let Gaz outline his little mini strategy for the bottom, then obviously Ellis, and then me, because
just
it's obvious.
Just buy the bottom. That's it.
But it depends what you're buying.
In all seriousness, I think so. You got a dollar cost average is obviously very effective, but you got to do it at the right time. There's no point dollar cost averaging from the top all the way down. You got to time that right in terms of, and don't. You can, I suppose, if you're a very passive investor, just dollar cost average, as in like every week or month, certain amount. That's fine. But if you are a little bit more in depth and more in detail, obviously you highlight those key areas of support on your chart, monthly, weekly timeframes, high timeframes, buy a chunk each time. And then what you're going to achieve is, as we've just seen, when you see that massive rally, you've at least bought some stuff as it's come down, and then you can take profits. 100%. But it's all about staying patient and staying in the game. That's the main thing. That's the thing we preach all the time. Whenever the big red days or during the bear markets, it's the boredom that will shake you out, and you'll look back and you think, damn, why don't I just stay in the market? Look at the chart all through 2018, 2019. The amount of people that were in the market for the peak of 2017, left the market when it was flatlined, and then came back when we'd broken 20K in this cycle. It's like, you've just missed the amount of times you get text messages from people like saying, oh, crypto's doing really well. What should I buy? What should I buy? I'm like, or when should I buy? What should I buy? It's like, you should have bought this and that last year when it was like a quarter of the price.
I had one of them text messages this morning, funnily enough.
Yeah. And this is what I mean by, I think this is probably a bear market rally.
Yeah. Even if it is just like a bear market rally and it goes a little bit lower and sits for a while, it's going to kill people because people will be gagging for more and they'll be like, oh, I've bought at the wrong time, and it'll kill them. Even if we don't even go near 15k and we just sit at 20k, it's going to be like, oh, fuck.
Well,
But it's still good risk reward.
Could you imagine if it just keeps bouncing between 19 and 21?
Oh, mate.
We broke 20k. Oh, we broke 20k. Oh, we broke 20k. Oh, we broke 20k.
It was really boring in that range last time, though. Christ,
that is a historic level of huge importance from previous cycles, as well as the previous consolidation range for 2 months. It's going to get a tickle again. It's going to be boring.
It's going to get a tickle.
It is, though. You just see it happening. You see people getting really annoyed and like they'll start fighting with each other. Your trading's going to go to fucking shit. And it's going to be boring, but at the same time, it's accumulation, isn't it? It's like, yes, just give me.
The same thing happened to 10k. That used to get sort of broken every other day.
Psychological level, isn't it?
Yeah. Last chance to buy below 10k.
To be fair, you can always see when the bottom's nearly in or when the top of that range, the local top's nearly in, because the toxicity on Twitter just gets like a little bit. You know, you'll see like big accounts and they'll all be sharing like, oh, this person's blocked me, so-and-so's blocked me. I'm like, okay.
I get blocked and I don't even engage with people. It's ridiculous. I'm literally like a shit magnet. I'm a stink.
The preempted block.
You get blocked because you sell stuff. How dare you? How dare you?
How dare you? You're no longer a part of our community. Goodbye. All right. Don't need a fucking departure message, mate.
Oh, I'm only friends with Diamond Hands.
It's ridiculous. In terms of like, obviously, Ellis, what have you been doing in terms of like bottoming? Because I know you bought Polkadot at the absolute fucking stratosphere.
Yeah.
Obviously, you had to
$5 bang on.
Wow.
You had to bring that down.
It wasn't a small buy neither.
I commend your honesty.
I'll put it this way, right? It's taken me 13 months to get my... Yeah, so 13 months ago, I was obviously massively in the red, and I was like, oh no. And then what I did have left in stables, which was quite, sizable, and then some fresh capital, I started buying again probably... I was buying bits of assets that I really want. So Polkadot, is it that I want it or is it that I needed it? But yeah, I've eventually got my dollar cost average down to around, I think it's about $5.91 now. So it's in the green at the minute. But it's quite painful when I go on Delta and I go down to the transactions from
one day
like 80%.
One day that buy order will be in profit.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't get divorced.
Oh, I didn't tell her.
Good job.
No. Been in an eternal bull run, sure she's concerned.
He'd sooner divorce his wife than his bags, I tell you.
Probably, yeah.
She's going to watch this as well. And be getting all sorts of
your relationship with that $55 order on DOT is stronger than any other relationship you've ever had.
Well, I was convinced it was going to 250. So
what?
Yeah,
you thought it was going to 5x after it had already done a 10 plus X.
Matt, that was a really humbling, like a really, really humbling thing to see such an asset such as Polkadot. Knowing the tech, I'm not a techie person, but seeing the potential it's got, and then being humbled like that, thinking, it's not going to drop that much, and then seeing it, and it's like.
In fairness, $55 down to $5 sounded just almost impossible. You think there's no way we're getting back down there, but here we are.
It reminds me of Ethereum from 1440 to 82.
80, yeah.
And, oh man, that was ridiculous. And when you look at the chart, you're thinking, "Whoa, that looks like it's deed." And look at it. Like some people, literally, you said it before, they come back as the market's gone over its all-time high, and obviously they were like lucky, weren't they? Like they bought at 1400, went down to 82. Oh, crypto's crap, and then all of a sudden, wow, 4,400. They got lucky, and I think Polkadot's kind of in that kind of ilk at the minute, where it's like it feels like Ethereum in 2016, where it's just growing and building, and all of a sudden it's just going to go bang, and hopefully $250 will happen. If it does happen, I'm out of here.
Well,
I don't know.
So just like just like you said there, where people come back and buy the previous all-time high on ETH and they got lucky. It's same thing will probably happen with DOT, where people will come in and buy $40, $50, and they'll get bailed out because it will go maybe 100, 150.
Even if it goes to $60, they're bailed out, really.
You know,
if they remember where they bought it, that is.
It hurt buying that top at the time, but when I look at it now, I've spent, because I had so much in it, I was tied to the crypto space. So what I've had to do for the last year is learn and constantly research, and it's sort of paying off now. And I hope it pays off in the future a bit more. But
well, it has paid off because now your polka dot's in the green, mate.
Not even in the green. It's about 20% up overall.
Wow.
And you're on a podcast now, so you're winning on both sides of the fence.
I know.
Doing well.
But now, I suppose I don't ever look to try and buy the bottom. I'll research an asset I want. NIA is a really good example. I really like NIA. I wanted it and I hadn't brought anything for 4 or 5 months after, everything was at all-time high and started dropping. So it's probably around May or June of last year. And I was like, right, now, but enough. NIA's at $6. I'm buying it. And obviously we all know it went down even further, but I was happy to be paying $6 for that asset because I know where it could go in the future. I see what's going on behind the scenes with them, in their Discord, really good community. And so that's more so how I'll do it. Like I will pay whatever I fix fair value for an asset at that time.
About $20, isn't it? All-time high.
Yeah. I nearly brought it there, to be fair. And then...
Didn't really get going either, I don't think, personally. But the way I look at it, I look at the... can't remember when it came out, but it's done well. It has done well. But like the way I look at it, it is fair value. Like I remember certain people shilling NIA, thinking, come on now. And like it was a good asset, but it was overvalued at the time. It reminds me of a few coins now where it's kind of overvalued still. And like it just tanked, and I was like, I'm going to buy NIA at $2, and I did. I waited till $2. It went obviously even lower than that, and I was more than happy to buy it. So yeah, I've got a nice bag for a very, very low price. If that goes way beyond its all-time high, I'm laughing because I'm earning right now 11%, and I'm getting paid every single day off it for free, which is great. And the reality is, if you're looking to find the bottom, you need to buy them key levels. You need to have the conviction to buy weekly levels as and when you are happy to. And some of my orders were like golden. Like they were like Metis, for example, $18 level average. Cool. It's like $30, $40 right now. Happy days. Winner. And you got to have the balls. And if you're that type of person that's going to come back when Metis is $200, $300 or NIA's like $20 again, you've missed out completely. Like I get texts all the time. I get messages all the time. What do I buy? As Gaz said 9 months ago, literally. It's like bad ed, but it's one of those things like you don't want to buy the dip that keeps on dipping, but you also don't want to buy the top and it just turns around. But at the same time, you don't want to be that idiot that's like trying to chase everything. You've got to be in control, and there's no strategy.
You see people that are like so much unstable still, which is okay, fair enough. Your risk management is great, but at the same time, why aren't you layering into that asset dollar cost average? And like you say, like it's the best strategy.
Yeah. Like I went all in like at the weekend, or well, not so much at the weekend, but like a week ago now, and it was only my last 20%, and they were only allocated for Ethereum and Cardano. They're the ones I feel have got the most like kind of what's the word? I don't know, not much risk to them. I think they're going to do all right. I think like Ethereum's going to go beyond its 4K level, and I think Cardano's going to do well too. So all my risky bags were bought when it was lower, thinking, risk reward, all that kind of good stuff. So the reality is you don't know when it's going to turn around. This could go even lower. As Gaz said, it might be a complete fake out. It might go below 15K. He'll get his order for like, what did you say, BNB for $34 or whatever?
That's
which is probably unlikely, but you get the idea.
I still think we're going to see a big sell-off in Ethereum once the Shanghai update's incorporated in. Because a lot of people have had Ethereum locked up since December 2020. What was the price of it then?
Point.
It's triple digits around then, wasn't it? Still, I think.
I don't know actually.
Yeah, I think I'm sure around then when they first started staking, it was around $700-800 maybe even a bit lower.
838 was the most recent bottom, wasn't it? Which it's been very impressive, Ethereum, because it's
Yeah,
not
the merge
retested.
was amazing. Like how it
When
went off.
BTC went down to 15 and obviously broke new lows, ETH hasn't tested the lows from the summer. As I say, about $800.
I've been a disappointed bear, really, when you think about Ethereum.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to like, I don't know,
$700,
$600,
$500 ETH. Yeah, fuck it.
I think my lowest order was around 750, and that was big.
I looked at the chart, and there was only 2 days where Ethereum was below $1,000,
So
which
annoying.
is mental.
Absolutely annoying. Should we talk about shitcoins?
Yeah.
Right.
My
So
time to shine.
Well, I'm not needed for this bit. It's just you and Ellis.
Yeah, I do have a question, because obviously Ellis was a little bit like, well, we'll just call him an addict, really.
It's connoisseur, isn't it, Ellis?
It is.
Yeah, connoisseur.
Connoisseur of the shitcoin.
So we got a question from Marty saying, do you believe, well, this is basically to Ellis anyway, it's not to us two, because we don't really delve in this sort of stuff. We're a bit, proper these days. I did used to do shitcoins, by the way, just saying. Do you believe there's a place for shitcoins in the crypto space? If so, why? And how do you navigate them to become profitable? Basically discuss the pros and the cons of said shitcoins. So there's quite a lot of questions there, but
Do they have a space in the crypto? No, absolutely not. It's the biggest form of degeneracy, and it's not a good thing, is it? You literally, you're okay. We all know how a market works, but with a pump and dump, you're literally buying into the hype and the bullshit of someone else who's got in lower than you, and they're all promising that they're not going to sell. We're going to here, we're going to there, but in reality, they're waiting for that first big green candle, and they're out, and that's that. And so many people are still chasing that overnight rich game in crypto, which it's not there anymore. Like, that's missed. Okay, you might have a couple of coins here and there that are going to do pull like a 20 or a 50x.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, but, it's not going to happen overnight for most things.
No.
Whereas, I got really, really bored in the bear market, and it got to a point where I was either scalp trading, and it's just, or playing with shitcoins on Uniswap, and it's like, it got to a point where I was scared to go to sleep. I couldn't walk around anywhere with my missus and my kids, because I'd be like constantly having to check my phone, because it's not like, you can't walk away from something like that that's got, like, when you're buying something with a 50k market cap and 10k of liquidity.
It's like that footage of that guy who's on his computer, and he's like, "Oh, look at this," and he goes, "Oh God," and it just died. I can't remember.
Squid token, that was brilliant.
It just died. Oh yeah, squid token. It just literally died. Like, 0.
Proper rug pull while he's talking so much gas about it as well. You see it get rugged live on stream. I mean, I don't know. When I think of shitcoins, I don't think of investing in crypto, because that's not what it is.
It's definitely not.
It is gambling. And
it's
that
a
is
Ponzi scheme, really.
But if you're good at it and that's an edge, then more power to you.
Yeah.
I made quite a bit of ETH on that, doing that, but I was doing it all day, every day for about 3 months. And by the end, I was just throwing so much ETH at these different shitcoins. I couldn't keep up half the time. And
I couldn't.
I'm surprised you didn't go broke from fees. Gas fees.
Well, to be fair, I started looking at different things so I could avoid the gas. So I was like, I'll do something on Arbitrum. And it's just, it's slippery.
You really went down the rabbit hole, didn't you?
Yeah, proper. Absolutely proper.
The thing with it, right, like a lot of these coins as well, and you said it before, it's all designed to get the other person rich, but mainly the founders of an idea. And they develop, you can develop one of these coins for 80 quid literally, and build a little website, and off you go. Give it a smart contract, build a bit of hype, a bit of advertising, get Martini guy on the scene, and then it's hunky dory. You're going to make loads of money, but it's not like that for the buyer, the investor who invests in it. And there's a lot of good coins out there that are disguised as shit coins, and they are literally like shit coins in a wolf clothing. It's a mantle when you think about it. I'm not going to reveal which ones, because they're obvious when you look at them, but it's pretty damn scary.
I think the turning point for me with it was when I was in like a proper DJing group I was in a few, to be fair, but
oh no,
the main
horrible
one was the someone was sharing screenshots that they'd been having with a dev of a project, and he was essentially admitting it. He was like, "Yeah," he goes, "I'm happy if I walk away with 5 ETH." He goes, "And I'll move on to the next project." And he was just rug pulling, and
it happens though. There's a lot of influencers that are like that on the followers. Like, oh, look at this. They'll recommend it, they'll shill it, and all of a sudden it goes up, and then they're selling it, and they're gone. And like, they're not a developer; they're just like a shitcoin shiller. Like, oh,
yeah,
just as bad. Really is just as bad. Oh,
but no, times. I would definitely not advocate shitcoins to anyone ever. I had some fun doing it, but at the same time, for me walking away with a bit of ETH, how many people have to walk away without anything at all? And it's just nah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, you got to think, like, you said it before, everyone wants to get instant gratification, they want to get rich quick. And the reality is, right, if you spent more time researching good coins and getting actual funds together and building a solid fund base and buying good assets, you might make more money in the long run anyways. It's like learning how to trade by going scalp trading on the fucking 3-minute time frame. You're going to probably lose. It's like shitcoins. You know, you're probably going to lose unless you've got the inside edge and the inside know from the developers slipping you backhanders thinking, oh, by the way, this is going to happen. Buy some.
Yeah.
But that does happen. That genuinely does happen. And like I've in my position as well with followers, people DM me all the time telling me, oh, this is going to happen very, very soon on this coin. Are you interested? No, buy. Fuck off. That's probably why I get blocked all the time, because I tell them fuck off. But it is what it is, isn't it?
Having a show list.
No one
will be on that anymore.
I mean, like, you're seeing what people share. Like, is it Zach? He shared like a list ages ago of all the influencers with how much they will charge for a video, for a tweet, and all that stuff. It's a real thing, boys and girls. By the way, it genuinely does happen. My inbox is full of it. It's ridiculous, and they're all shitcoin. Like literally, like they were made last night. Yeah, like they were literally made the following night. Ridiculous. I do have another question though, as well. This is mainly for guys and obviously you and myself. What's the absolute worst coin you've ever had in your portfolio? What is the story? Obviously, I'll go to Gaz first because he's probably got a little bit more.
Yeah.
He's already like puked in his mouth, I think, by looking at that question.
No, I'm trying to think. I've had a lot of shit coins over the years.
We all have.
Yeah.
I mean, like I mentioned earlier, Electronium for start.
We're just Generation 1 and Alice is Generation 2.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I bought some real... So I've talked about this before, but one of my biggest mistakes was buying literally the absolute top of the alt market in 2018. So pretty much anything I touched there was a bad call. But things that people just won't even know about now, things like Dragon Chain, do you remember that?
Yeah, Dragon Chain still active.
Substratum.
That went under.
Medichain or Medicare or something like that.
It sounds like you used to follow Superman back in the day.
I did. To my shame, I did. Yeah. So yeah, I've bought a lot of shit coins for terrible reasons. Quant Stamp. Yeah. There's a lot of them. I suppose
Quant Stamp's actually all right, isn't it? Quant Stamp's one of those ones where we talk about a shit coin dressed as a decent coin. It's because it's a decent thing. It's just the token utility is just shit. Yeah. You don't need it. You don't need a token for it. Like that's the problem with coins like that. Like, yeah, it's great for utility use for auditing chains. Great for buying it. You don't.
Another one I remember I got into, so obviously it was all about ICOs back in 2017, 2018, or 2016, 2017. I got into an ICO for, is it IQN or something like that. And they were going on about becoming, I mean, they were ahead of their time, to be fair, because they were talking about getting involved in like the gaming industry. I was like, oh, that sounds solid. This was obviously the previous cycle, 2017. So I was like, oh, that's solid. Anyway, got whatever for, I think I bought BTC or ETH or whatever. Got my tokens. They did nothing that cycle, but I was like, well, I might as well just hold on to them and see what they do next cycle. Then obviously this cycle was all about like metaverse gaming and stuff. I was like, oh, this could be like a like a like a dark horse. Did nothing. Did absolutely nothing. So I was like, oh, that's a shame. I just sold it for just pittance. I was like, oh.
What about you, Ellis? What's the worst one?
Chainlink.
You've had much worse in your wallet than Chainlink.
Yeah, but I better keep it about in the top 200, otherwise we'd be here all night.
Chainlink is one of those coins that doesn't need a token. Definitely doesn't need a token. 100%. Just the way it's wired up. It's plumbing for the. It's like Quantstamp. It's plumbing. It works. You don't need a token for it.
Have they brought staking out yet? Because when I first bought that 2 years ago, staking was just around the corner apparently.
Yeah, it's out, but it's full. You can't. It filled within like an hour. It's.
You can go on a waiting list.
Yeah. Fuck's sake. I'm trying to think of mine. I remember one ages ago. I think it was B12. It was called. If you ever. Oh, they've probably done.
What about Reef?
Reef was a bad one. Oh dear, yeah. I got out with profit on that. I don't even know what they're doing now. They're absolute arseholes.
They keep emailing me about having a Reef debit card. You know I am about a debit card.
Oh god,
that one.
To be fair, the odds of getting you to have a debit card are pretty high. So
I bet you they've come in really handy though in the winter because you just use them for your car.
Yeah,
as window scraper.
I use my Wirex card to get the ice off. To be fair,
that's shit. Bloody hell, good days. Oh, I don't like. I hate debit cards. I think they're shit, especially with crypto on them.
I never got into them.
I had, what did I have? Crypto.com for a bit and Pluton, that was it.
I had a Plu card, I used it for a week and I thought, I can't be asked to keep topping this thing up.
It is a ball like doing that.
And then I've got to pay to get my tokens out and I just couldn't be asked.
Yeah, I'd rather get a Monza card and just put all my money in that and just use that and sign up to Top Cashback or something like that.
Yeah.
And just get rewards off that. Easier. But no, like in terms of just shitcoins, what I've held, like there's been quite a few. B12 was probably the one that was like the most pointless ever. It's because it was such a high market cap, high amount of coins. I wanted 1 million or something, and that was why I bought it. There you go.
PunDX, that was another one that I had that was.
PunDX,
yeah, I
had quite a bit of that.
Yeah,
that's died as well.
It made a little bit of I'll say it made a little bit of a comeback. It came back like 0.5% the other week. I think it was more than that, to be fair.
I bought that in the BTC pair because it was like literally like single digits. I was like, if that moves just a little bit, that's going to be like a hell of a gain in BTC. But, another one was, is it BitTorrent BTT?
Yeah, I did all right with that, to be fair. That was when I didn't have a clue about anything, and I brought it thinking, I used to use torrents. I'll have some of that.
Yeah.
First bit of decentralization when you think about it, it's torrent websites.
Yeah, because it works with BTT. You're supposed to pay people who are torrenting, aren't you, or something? Like the people who are seeding. That's the main use case. And then there's another one what's his name? Bram Cohen. He was like the founder of torrents, but he's brought out that Chia.
Oh,
it's like proof of storage.
That like Filecoin.
Yeah, there's quite a few alts in my graveyard.
Did either of you ever get into Zcash?
No.
Really?
Never tickled my pickle.
I don't like any privacy coins. I think they're pointless. Personally.
I used to be quite a big advocate of Monero, but
I remember you were the Monero shill when you first came in the community. You were like, look at this, it's crap though.
It'll always be my favourite Bitcoin fork.
I think like there's the romantic side of Monero in that it's like fully decentralized, like anti like government, anti like power, all that sort of stuff. But realistically, you would need someone to accept it, and I think that's the biggest hurdle, is that no one's going to want to accept Monero because then they can't pass it on. No. Do you know what I mean?
The only kinds of people, the only people who are going to accept Monero are people who are up to no good, and that's got
powerful. And then whoever gets left with it when the music stops is kind of screwed.
Yeah,
it's not going to be fun. No, it doesn't make sense. If anyone's like an advocate, and I've seen this on Twitter anyways, with like, obviously people whinge about exchange with KYC, but the crypto market's changed. Back in the day, it used to be you used to generate the funds yourself via mining. You didn't have to go to an exchange to buy. You just did it that way, and that was how it grew. And obviously, that's where privacy coins came in. But you're going from your bank card to your exchange. It's already visible.
Yeah.
And into a privacy coin. You've got a rough idea what you've got. How are you going to generate the funds? Oh, yeah, by making these shit coins and rug pulling people potentially. Little dodgy deals here and there. That could obviously be the use case for it. But how many people do that? Not many.
Yeah, it's very niche, isn't it?
It's very, very niche. And I imagine there will be some big hitters that have used it, but I can imagine it's probably nothing now. So that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. If you did like this podcast, please do give it a share, give it a like, give it a review as well to help us push further. And we'll be back in 2 weeks' time.